Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Mr. City Attorney, are there any reports from closed session?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Nothing to report out of closed session.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Ms. Jill Abele, would you like to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Thank you. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Ayala?
Here.
Councilmember Rhodes?
Here.
Councilmember Litzter?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Judge?
Here.
And Mayor Kavanaugh?
Here. Are there any items for agenda review?
Madam Mayor, there are none.
Thank you. If any member of the City Council may have a conflict of interest or any reason why that member must abstain from consideration of any matter on this agenda, he or she should so declare at this time. Seeing none?
Ma'am,
I move that all resolutions and ordinances presented tonight be read in title only and all further reading be waived.
Second.
Call for the vote.
the motion passes unanimously. Okay. Madam Mayor and members of the City Council, the first item on the agenda is item 1D1, presentation of certificates of appreciation to outgoing Neighborhood Council Executive Board members and Senior Management Analyst Cynthia McCullough and Community Services Coordinator Kelly Duffy are here to present this item.
Good evening, Mayor Kavanaugh and members of the City Council. Neighborhood Council Executive Board members serve as a vital link between residents and city government. They serve as trusted representatives of their communities, offering thoughtful input on issues that shape the character and future of our neighborhoods. Throughout their terms, these dedicated individuals have carefully reviewed and evaluated a wide range of complex development proposals, providing valuable recommendations to the Planning Commission and the City Council. In addition to their advisory role, they have actively communicated important updates to their neighbors and brought forward key issues that matter most to the community, ensuring the residents' voices are heard. This evening, we are honored to recognize 13 outgoing members of the Neighborhood Council Executive Boards for their outstanding service. As I read each name, I invite those present to come forward and receive a certificate of appreciation in recognition of their time, leadership, and unwavering commitment to the community. Representing Neighborhood Council 1, Will Marmolejo, Frank Perota, Dwight Thompson, and Suzanne Thout. Representing Neighborhood Council 2, Teresa Ramirez, Douglas Robertson, and Michael Turpak. Representing Neighborhood Council 3, Peter Karubi, Tony Hudax, and Ravithi Pudhoda. And representing Neighborhood Council 4, Susan Dirksen, David Hector, and Stephen Cope. Please join me in congratulating these individuals on a job well done.
I think somebody's got some friends in the audience, right? Thank you all for everything you've done for your time and service on the Neighborhood Council. They really are important, and I think you've seen us if you've watched some of the exciting council meeting minutes before. You'll see what we often refer to. What did the neighborhood councils think? What were their what were their votes and what were their thoughts? So we really do take it seriously. We thank each and every one of you for all your time and effort. So for the community of Simi Valley. So thank you. Thank you. Love that shirt.
Madam Mayor, next on the agenda is item 2, public...
I believe everyone has the right to speak, but you don't have the right to interrupt a council meeting like this. So thank you all for being patient, and we'll continue with our meeting now.
Madam Mayor, next on the agenda is item 2, public statements on appointments, special presentations, and information reports, and we have no speakers for this item. Madam Mayor and members of the City Council, next on the agenda is item 3A1, appointment of Neighborhood Council Executive Board members to the 4 neighborhood councils, and Community Services Coordinator Kelly Duffy is presenting this item.
Good evening, Mayor Kavanaugh and members of City Council. Since 1970, the neighborhood councils have played a vital role in the city's government structure. They foster civic engagement by encouraging public awareness and participation in local government. Additionally, they serve as advisory bodies to both City Council and the Planning Commission on development projects and community concerns. There are a total of 16 vacancies across the executive boards of the 4 neighborhood councils. This evening, 16 applicants are being nominated to fill these positions for terms beginning on November 1st, 2025, and concluding on October 31st, 2027. As I read your name, will the nominees present this evening please come forward? Neighborhood Council 1, Paul Chandler, Debbie Gainey, Jason Gonzalez, Gail Luker, Cindy Slack. Neighborhood Council 2, Kenyon Harmon, Hillary Herrera, Rick Herrera, Katia Moore, Jerry Placeres. Neighborhood Council 3, Cheryl Diedrich, Melissa Hill, Guy Nuremberg. Neighborhood Council 4, Amy Brown, Don Diamond, and Natalia Santisteban. It is recommended that the City Council approve and the mayor appoint all 16 nominees to serve on the executive boards of the 4 neighborhood councils for the stated term.
I move that these members be appointed to the city, that we appoint these members to the neighborhood council, or we recommend that they appoint these people to the neighborhood council and the mayor appoint them.
Second.
Please vote yes for me. Call for the vote. Don't stress.
The motion passes unanimously.
Congratulations to each and every one of you. Thank you for taking the time to come in and to interview and to volunteer to do this. It's a great thing. Some of you have probably already been on the neighborhood council, but a lot of you have not. So we really look forward to getting to know you better and getting to work with you closer. So thank you for your time for our community. And she wants a picture. Thank you all.
Yes. Madam Mayor and members of the City Council, next on the agenda is item 4, public statements. Since there are no public hearings under agenda items 5, agenda items 4 and 6 are combined, and the City Council will hear all public statements under this agenda item 4. Agenda item 4 and 6 are times allotted for public statements on all items other than public hearings, appointments, and informational reports. Speakers will be called on in the order in which their card was submitted to speak for this public statements item 4 for a period of no more than 3 minutes each. Madam Mayor, we have 5 speaker cards. Persons addressing the City Council are requested to state their name and community residence for the record. Madam Mayor, unless you have any comments, we can begin public statements. The first 3 speakers, Fred Yarrow, James McGillis, and Anthony Eason.
I'm not used to this. Good evening. Some of you know me, some of you may not object to me, but that's another thing. I've been in Simi Valley since, 64, 65, when there was one signal in town, 2-lane road. So I've been around, but I have never complained until this last week, where I was in a situation where we were having a comfortable evening, and there was some noise going on. And my objection, and I'm talking to you so that my voice can be heard through you. I've talked to the police department. They choose not to do anything about it, but it's the kids where they take the mufflers off of the car and they ride around town saying, "Notice me." And the only time you notice me is when they pull up alongside of you and they blare that exhaust. And now they have your attention and you're out of control for a moment. So if my words can be passed on, I would greatly appreciate your help and your consideration. And I'm not going to go away mad. You guys have been doing a good job over the years, and I applaud you. I have never been here to complain, but this is one time I would like to see somebody care about what I'm saying. Thank you for your time. Anybody object to what I said?
Not even. I'll start. Mayor Kavanaugh, City Council, staff, thank you for having me back. On October 6th, when I commented from this podium, the audio issues were a little bit chancy, so I'll summarize what I said here. Before the council acts on the issue of short-term rentals, the public should know if any council member or member of city staff has a financial interest in any local rental property. If so, said parties should recuse themselves from any further discussions, memoranda, or votes regarding STRs. Governor Newsom recently signed Senate Bill 346 into law. The law authorizes local governments to require STR platforms to share data to help cities enforce local laws. The bill allows local agencies to create ordinances requiring platforms to display and report on property information, local business licenses, and transient occupancy taxes. If the city moves to legalize and regulate STRs, according to the city staff memorandum of August 4th, 2025, the city should do the following: create a good neighbor policy, including enforcement of no street parking, quiet hour limitations, and a ban on parties and events. Charge permit fees, collect TOTs, and annual business taxes. Codify both fines and citations. Create a constituent portal website listing registered and contact information and complaint forms on any STR. Contract with an outside STR program, a management firm to do all these things. And what does it cost to do this? Up to $37,000 to track and issue permits, approximately $254,000 to include the hiring of an additional code enforcement officer, 1/10 of the city attorney's time, 1/3 of a planning department staff member, and 1/10 of the police officer's time. According to staff, that $250,000 expense would create a $23,000, up to a $23,000 loss in the first year. The residents of this city deserve a frugal and responsive local government, not a plan to expand the bureaucracy and placate potential political donors. In respect for good governance and our current residents, the city of Simi Valley should immediately ban all residential short-term rentals. I'll add one thing. Instead, the city should allocate that $250,000 to the sometimes rambunctious Service Employees International union employees that we just heard from today. Thank you very much.
My name is Anthony Eason. I reside in Simi Valley. Good evening, Mayor, council members, city attorney, and city manager. In many ways, the last 2 weeks have been very interesting. I know California SB 346 has passed. We still need to wait and see if there will be any legal challenges from property investors and short-term rental facilitators. Short-term rentals are huge money for property investors and companies like Airbnb. They are huge headaches for people that have to live next to them and can be for the rest of the residents of their neighborhoods. People who care about and respect neighborhood communities don't open or allow motels next to their neighbors. According to the website Global Vacation Rentals, short-term rentals earn $124.5 billion in 2024 worldwide. Does anyone think they will sit idly by and allow their profits to be adversely affected? Hopefully, prior to any final decision by the Council on Short-Term Rentals, the Planning Commission will have any zoning changes as well as any changes to the general plan that will be required brought to them for review and approval. These, of course, will be required to be held in an open public hearing. There is no real urgency at this time for the council to act to regulate. Even if SB 346 is not challenged, it's still not be enacted until January 1st, 2026. There are lots of questions that should be answered prior to trying to pass legislation to regulate. Perhaps a televised town hall would be appropriate where residents would have the opportunity to ask questions and get direct answers to their concerns without the formality of a city council meeting. Still, the most favorable and desirable outcome for our neighborhood communities is an outright ban. There is no need to change the city's general plan and current zoning laws and turn our residential neighborhoods into business districts. Thank you.
The next two speakers, Alyn Easton and Mark Luker.
Good evening, Mayor Kavanaugh and City Council members. My name is Alyn Easton, and I've lived here in Simi Valley for 41 years. Here are some simple questions to the City Council and homeowners of Simi Valley. When you purchased your home, did you want to live next to a motel? Would you feel safe with transients next door constantly? How many different neighbors, strangers, do you want to live next to in a year? Would you like your property value to go down in value? Living next door to a short-term rental is no safer than living next to a motel. Short-term rentals offer big profits for Airbnb, Vrbo, Home2Go, etc. None of these businesses care about how STRs may affect you. Those in favor of short-term rentals will cite reasons to allow them. The reasons never include how STRs affect the residents where they are located. People favoring STRs only offer reasons for their personal monetary gain. They have other earning potential by either leasing the STR home for a legal 30 days or longer. They could sell the house and reinvest all the profits, or they could operate a legal business in a non-residential location. People who care about and respect neighborhood communities don't open motels next to their neighbors. The owners of STRs don't care about the homeowner who is unfortunate to have one next door to them. Help us protect our residential community standards and keep our neighborhoods safe. Stop all Simi Valley short-term rentals. We will be circulating petitions at the Simi Valley Street Fair on Saturday, October the 25th. We welcome all volunteers. If you would like to help with this cause, please visit the website at www.stopstrs.com. Thank you.
Hi. An electric motor is still a motor. Strap it to a bicycle, it becomes an electric motor cycle. And there seems to be more and more of them zipping down those cement things we have lining our streets that are literally called sidewalks. And as far as I know, pedestrians still has the right of way. Now, it's only a matter of time before somebody gets hurt. And as everyone probably knows, there are hundreds of personal injury attorneys out there to be more than happy to jump on a case like that. Perhaps the schools themselves could take a more proactive role in teaching about safety and the right of way. And before somebody gets hurt, we need to, do something. And just to finish up, much to the chagrin of MAGA Mike Judge, yes on 50, no kings.
Madam Mayor, that was the last speaker. Next on the agenda is item 4A, City Council comment regarding public statements.
Councilmember Rhodes.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I don't know if Fred has left yet, but it looks like he's already engaged with our PD, and that's great because there are noise regulations, and I agree that I find them obnoxious. To our short-term rental crew, we have a new step now with 346 in play. I would like you guys to reach out to me directly, because if we're going to craft something, I want our subject matter experts to be having a seat at the table with that. So please find my email and get to me so I can get to you. Okay. Mark, the e-bikes do have regulations, and the shortcoming is the knowledge in the public of what is allowed and what is not allowed, what type of e-bikes, and on the sidewalks. Yeah. So how we get that education out, not completely clear. I like the idea of getting through the schools. We are not the school board, so make that same comment to the school board, and I'll do the same. So, and that's all my comments, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Any other comments? No? All right. Thank you for coming out and speaking again. We appreciate that when our community participates. So thank you.
Madam Mayor and members of the City Council, next on the agenda is item 7, the consent calendar, and there are no resolutions for your consideration this evening.
I will make a motion to approve them all, but I just have to say that I was just delighted to see that item 4 is to pass that road improvement on Township. So I just had to say thank you for bringing that to us, and under budget even, or at least under the engineer's estimate. Anyway, so I move that we pass all 4 items.
Second.
Call for the vote.
The motion passes unanimously. Madam Mayor and members of the City Council, next on the agenda is item 8A, the second reading of ordinance number 1364 of the City Council of the City of Simi Valley, approving a Fifth Amendment to Development Agreement number DA-04-01 between the City of Simi Valley and Runkle Canyon LLC. The reading of the ordinance is as follows. Ordinance number 1364, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Simi Valley approving a Fifth Amendment to Development Agreement number DA-04-01 between the City of Simi Valley and Runkle Canyon.
Any comments, questions? Councilmember Litzter?
Just one quick question, is I realize this is the second reading and we discussed it in full last time, but I think I missed something last time around. In section 3 of the agreement, it says the remaining in lieu fee for 30 affordable units of 900,000 that may be utilized by the city. I was just curious at what time, when is that fee slated to be paid, in what stage? And I'm sorry, I should have asked this earlier. Do we have an answer?
It was in the last staff report, and Assistant City Manager Luis Scarabay may know off the top of his head what the
I
timeline was for
apologize, I
that
should have
one.
asked in advance. I just happened to notice it as I was reading this last time through.
Good evening. So that payment was broken down into 2 separate payments. One was for $650,000. The other $350 was going to be the initial payment. So it's in the timeline. The first payment is due at the issuance of the prior to the issuance of the first building being final. So when the certificates and everything's done for the building, and then the second payment would be due the following year. To match another milestone in the timeline.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry to put you on the spot, but I appreciate that clarification. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Judge?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm willing to move this item forward, but I'm going to vote no on it again because I'm still not happy with the timeline for the developer. I would like to see a tighter timeline, just making that statement. But I'm willing to move the item forward if that's what it takes.
Second.
I have one more councilmember wants to do discussion. Councilmember Ayala?
Yes, just real quick. This Friday, the 31st, is the first deadline according to the plan. Can we just get a emails sometimes next week to ensure that we're starting off on the right foot and that has been met.
A week from Friday.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Sorry.
We have our all-staff meeting with that group on this Friday, the 24th. So we're ensuring that we are having those regular cadence of meetings. And then we have been working with them on their latest submission. So, but yes, we can definitely provide an update to council.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Any other questions? We do have a first and a second. Call for the vote, please.
The motion passes with Mayor Pro Tem Judge voting no. Madam Mayor and members of City Council, next on the agenda is item 9A, consideration of proposed revisions to the terms and conditions of the Memorandum of Understanding with the Simi Valley Police Officers Association, and Assistant City Manager Luis Garibay is here to present this item.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Tonight, for your consideration, are proposed amendments to the Memorandum of Understanding between the City of Simi Valley and the Simi Valley Police Officers Association. The City Council provided direction to the city's negotiation team to negotiate a comprehensive package that more closely aligns with those of neighboring jurisdictions. To assist with city retention and recruitment of employees, while still being fiscally responsible and maintaining a high-level service to our residents and customers. The city's negotiation team met with representatives of the POA and developed the following terms. The proposed MOU would be a 24-month agreement that would go through June 30th, 2027. In the first year, which would be effective the first payroll period after the formal adoption by City Council, there would be a 5% salary increase. In fiscal year 26-27, there would also be a 5% salary increase. In addition, the contribution that the city makes towards the members' flexible benefit plan package, also known as SimiFlex, would be increased to $2,500 per month for that first year and $2,600 for the second year of the term. In addition, the salary range, in an effort to be more competitive and to assist with the recruitment process of new police officers, the bottom three steps of the police officer salary range would be eliminated. And there was also several minor updates that were made in terms of the old MOU and the incorporation of previously approved side letters that address issues like bilingual pay, to expand the list of non-discrimination classes to match federal requirements, and to update motor officer compensation as well. The impact to the general fund based on the proposed MOU would be approximately $4.2 million over the next 2 years. Staff has identified funds in the current budget to ensure that the city can cover the proposed costs. With that, staff recommends that City Council consider the proposed revisions as presented and bring back the item on November 3rd, get community input for the final determination and potential approval of the MOU. Staff is available to answer any questions.
Any questions? May I entertain a motion?
I thought there would have been questions.
I'm willing to move that, although I should have the correct language in front of me, I'm sorry, that we so move that, is there, someone else has it open, I'm sure.
I got it.
You got it? Okay, Rocky wants
I
to do
move to
it.
consider the proposed revisions to the items and conditions of the Memorandum of Understanding with the Simi Valley Police Officers Association as presented, and allow the public to provide input prior to making the final determination on the MOU, and place this matter on the November 3rd, 2025 City Council meeting agenda for final determination on the proposed MOU.
Second.
Call for the vote.
The motion passes unanimously. Madam Mayor and members of City Council, next on the agenda is item 9B, consideration of proposed revisions to the terms and conditions of the Memorandum of Understanding with the Simi Valley Police Managers Association. And Assistant City Manager Luis Garibay is presenting this item as well.
Good evening again. Much like the item right before, the city's negotiation team met with representatives of the police, the Simi Valley Police Managers Association, to come up with terms on the proposed MOU for the next 2-year period, which would go through June 30th, 2027. As part of the salary compensation, it would include a 5.5% salary increase effective the first payroll period after formal council adoption. And then in fiscal year 26 and 27, there would be a 4.5% salary increase. In addition, they would also have similar increases to their Simi Flex plan of $2,500 that first year and $2,600 the following year. One of the other adjustments that was being proposed as part of the MOU is to adjust the bottom of the pay ranges for the assistant police chief and police commander, primarily to ensure, to address some compaction issues, but then also to ensure that nobody that's promoting from sergeant to commander and makes the same levels. One additional change to keep in par with the Police Officers Association was to increase the annual leave by 0.5 hours per pay rate, and then also some minor language updates and the incorporation of one side letter that addressed a dues collection issue that was done internally. The total impact to the general fund based on the proposed MOU would be $489,000, $115,000 for the 2-year cost to the general fund. Again, staff did evaluate the budget to identify funds to cover those costs for this 2-year period. With that, staff recommends for the council to consider the proposed revisions and then bring back the item on November 3rd to get final input and approval of the proposed MOU. With that, staff is available and happy to answer any questions.
Councilmember Litzter.
So, Mr. Garabay, I don't have a question. I just want to make sure it's clear. I noticed in the staff report that it says on the first page, I've reached a 2-year agreement with a 5% salary increase each year over the term. I assume that that is a typo. That applies to, not to the, I'm looking at page 1.
Yes,
I assume that that applies to the former category, not to our, not to the management.
Correct. My apologies. Yes, the proposal is for a 5.5% in year 1 and a 4.5%.
Okay,
And Councilmember Litzter, on page 2, under the findings and alternatives, the bullet points do reflect the correct salary increases.
They do. Good. I just want to be sure that.
And the breakdown of the cost was based on those two as well.
Got it. And I just want to be sure what we were putting out to the public is accurate.
Our apologies. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. And this one, I would be willing to make the motion, but I do have it up if that's all right. I move that we consider the proposed revisions to the terms and conditions of the Memorandum of Understanding, Attachment A, page 4, with police management employees represented by the Simi Valley Police Managers Association as presented, and allow the public to provide input before making a final determination on the MOU, and place this matter on the November 3rd, 2025 City Council meeting agenda for final determination on the proposed MOU.
Second.
Call for the vote.
The motion passes unanimously. Madam Mayor, members of City Council, next on the agenda is item 10A, City Council member reports.
Councilmember Ayala.
Thank you. On Tuesday, October 7th, I attended the we did the neighborhood council interviews for neighborhood councils 1 and 4. Some of those who were here tonight to receive their pins. From October 8th through 10th, I was at the Cal Cities conference, which was really educational and great to be part of. October 11th, the Interfaith Council had an awareness event at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints on behalf of the Samaritan Center. And it was a great event. They actually had an Indian theme, so Indian food, Indian music, and things like that, which was great to be a part of. October 12th, I served soup at the Bowls of Hope event, which brings awareness and was a fundraiser for many mansions in their fight to end homelessness. On October 14th, I attended the Neighborhood Council number 2 meeting where they discussed the water increases. They had a presentation there by staff. On October 15th, I attended the Youth Employment Services Committee. We had a great presentation by Goodwill Industries, and they talked about all of the things they do for individuals up to the age of 22, and it's all about career development and getting them job experience. So if anyone is looking for some work experience, Goodwill is a great place to start, and you can either reach out to them or reach out to me, and I can give you direction as to how to make that happen. October 16th, I attended the ADA Paratransit Committee, and just an interesting statistic is that in September alone, they had over 3,300 individual rides on the Dial-A-Ride bus service, and over 1,000 of those were to the senior center. And so as we look at things such as the Dial-A-Ride services and the senior center, it's important. I just wanted to bring that back to all of you to understand that it's really a heavy utilized system that we need to continue to make sure that we're supporting. October 17th, I attended the Youth Summit, Voices of the Future. Mr. Fowler is here. Thank you so much for putting that on. It was a great opportunity for those students to participate in. October 18th, I attended Coffee with the Cop. Thank you to McKenna Beach House for sponsoring that. I also attended the Relay for Life. Thank you to Holly Stone and Deanna Gonzalez for organizing that event. And I attended the YMCA Halloween event. Thanks to Chris Turner for putting that on. They had 3,200 pre-registered attendants, kids at that event. So it was, we waited about 45 minutes before we got to the trunk or treat area. On October 19th, I attended the Kiwanis 60th anniversary, and congratulations to all of those who were newly installed as board members to lead that organization. Also that evening, I attended the Forever Found Gala, which brings awareness and is a fundraiser to battle exploitation of children in our county. It was a really great event, and I'm glad that I could be a part of that. And this morning, October 20th, I attended the swearing in of our newest officer, Mark Cassio. So congratulations to him and welcome to Simi Valley. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Rhodes.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. On Tuesday, October 7th, I also did the Neighborhood Council 1 and 4 interviews. I'm glad we got a great slate of people seated tonight. Wednesday, October 8th through the 10th, I also attended the Cal Cities Long Beach Annual Convention, and a lot of good information was passed on, and a lot of good connections were made with other electeds from around the state. Unfortunately, on Saturday, October 11th, I needed to go to Sacramento. I got word that my father was in hospice, and I spent a few days there seeing him on to the next phase of his life. On Thursday, October 16th, I attended the Brown Bag Lunch at Royal, and I still hold the title as the most prolific speaker at the Brown Bag Lunches. So they just keep inviting me back. I don't know why. Maybe I don't say enough. That day, I attended the Clean Power Alliance board meeting. I attended via Zoom from here in City Hall. That evening, I attended the Sir Optimus Little Black Dress event. I got to be a waiter at the event, which required running around and hopefully not spilling stuff on your shirt, which I was pretty successful at not doing. Friday, October 17th, I also attended the Youth Summit, and once again, fantastic event. Mr. Fowler, well done. My favorite moment was coming back at lunch and having open discussion with what the students learned in their breakout sessions. Mine happened to be on bullying prevention, and I will tell you, my eyes were open to the younger person's perspective on what bullying is now versus what we perceived it to be when we were growing up. I then took the weekend off and adjusted my life back in order. So I missed several of the great events that were going on this weekend. I apologize for that. And this morning, I also attended the swearing-in ceremony for our newest officer.
Thank you. Councilmember Lister.
Thank you. Let me start with Tuesday, October 7th. I attended the Youth Council meeting. I want to commend Ryan for his excellent planning. In fact, in preparation for that youth summit, he did a marvelous guided exercise with helping them assimilate what the big issues are and what the symptoms are and what the root causes are, so that there really is, that there was effective solutions and effective outcomes from the youth summit. And I was just very impressed with that tutelage that you gently guided them with. It was excellently done. On Wednesday, October the 8th, I attended a Simi Valley Veterans Foundation meeting. On Thursday, October 9th and 10th, I too attended SCAG's, or excuse me, not SCAG's, but the League of Cities annual conference was held in Long Beach. I know that we were fortunate, all of us were in attendance. I just want to share a few of the things that came out of that I learned, besides being able to do PSAs on bullying and veterans services, which I appreciate that opportunity. But a couple of things, my takeaways: I attended a session about artificial intelligence and the strong need for a technology plan that our city should have. And I also came away with the caution that we need to be sure that none of our employees or ourselves are using free versions of ChatGPT or whatever, because by using them, often they are gleaning private city data if it's used in that capacity anyway. So just, I think, a very good caution that I learned in that session. I passed that along. Attended the benefits of public-private partnership, and I came away with a reminder of the shared risks, but also the shared rewards, and there's some things I hope in the future we can do as a city. Also attended a wireless meeting where I learned all about what it takes for applying for wireless towers, et cetera, and just this was an appreciation of our environmental services and how they have to be very quick in their response, that they only have 10 or 30 days to deem if there's any issues. Otherwise, the applications are deemed complete. Anyway, I learned quite a bit about that. And for the Eastons, I want you to know that I know several of us attended a session where they specifically talked about STRs, ADUs, and group homes, but my takeaway from that conversation, one of them was that the power to regulate begins and ends with the municipal code, and we need, if we're going to do something about it, we need to be very concise and clear as we evaluate it and take that responsibility. Anyway, it was an excellent weekend to learn all things city related at the state level. I also met my doppelganger. I met Elaine Lister, who is the city manager of Mission Viejo. So I just thought I'd mention that as well. Anyway, going on to my other activities for the last week. With Mike Judge, Mayor Pro Tem, we attended the Council on Aging and also did interviews for Neighborhood Councils 2 and 3. Always great to meet these applicants who are willing to serve our city. On Thursday, October the 16th, I attended their housing conference, which was held by home in Camarillo. One of the things I learned or became more acquainted with was the concepts of incremental development and some of the advantages, but that really, and if we're not careful with our code, anyway, that's best done by some of the smaller moms and pops, but it is only our larger developers that can survive sometimes when we have too many lengthy requirements for approvals, et cetera. So not that we would ever do that in our city, but anyway, it was very educational and appreciate that opportunity. Also attended Seroptimus Little Black Dress, a great fundraiser for our community, and attended VCOG's, Ventura Council Government's annual dinner, both held in Moore Park. So I may have bounced back and forth between two lovely events. Friday, October the 17th, yes, attended the Youth Summit, and the topics that they tackled were just outstanding: mental health, bullying, the use of social media and artificial intelligence, and the fourth one, substance abuse. I'm sorry, I just neglected to write that down. Thank you, Mr. Fowler. Appreciate that great program for our youth, really outstanding. Saturday, October 18th, also attended the Relay for Life. So impressed that for 27 years that's been taking place in our community and raising funds for cancer research. And I gained a greater, everyone is touched in some way, and I gained a greater perspective of some of our community members who are battling that horrible disease, but impressed to know that over its life, almost $7 billion has been raised for cancer research with this program of Relay for Life. Sunday, October the 19th, I too attended the Kiwanis Club of Simi Valley 60th anniversary installation of officers. Quite impressive that they've been a service organization in our community longer than we've been a city. And then finally, today, I took advantage of attending an event that was held. It was a online forum. I guess I would call it it wasn't a town hall, but it was just a forum where they invited participants throughout California to discuss the, October 19th through 25, which some have declared as the United Against Hate Week, and they're trying to gain support for it. And so I gather that designation has been around for maybe 5 years. Not many in Southern California are aware of it. Lots of people online said they never heard of it, but I did choose to attend just so I could become better acquainted with what they do, and certainly we desire that for our community to have no hate or malice. But they had ideas of things we could do to promote this the value of having obviously no hate in the community. And they say whether you're a 5-star in terms of doing things right or wrong, there's always work to be done to set a tone of inclusivity. And so I appreciated that their attempt is to be completely non-political, and that was played out in the conversation. There were about 70 attendees on the call. 8 of them were men. I guess it means the women are all talking about it, but that's all right. Anyway, it was a very interesting conversation, and I appreciated that. I know that our community is doing its best and grappling with some of these issues, and so anyway, it might be something we want to designate in the years to come. But some of they had ideas of ways to improve that conversation and tone, including city book clubs and they had a variety of efforts that were thrown out. But anyway, it was an interesting conversation, and so I appreciated being part of it. And that concludes my report for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Judge.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Wednesday through Friday last week, October 8th through the 10th, I attended the annual Cal Cities Conference in Long Beach. I went through every breakout session they had on STRs, and we had a lot of big hallway conversations about STRs. And I'm going to make my opinions known to the city manager about what I think we should add to our ordinance, because a lot of the stuff they talked about and a lot of stuff that was presented to me made a lot of sense. And it also made it a lot easier for cities to enforce such an ordinance without having to spend a lot of money. So that was a good time, and it was actually very informative. On Monday, October 13th, I too attended the Council on Aging and the Neighborhood Council's 2 and 3 interviews, along with Councilmember Lister. And you saw the effects of that tonight when we appointed those people to the Neighborhood Council. On Thursday, October 16th, I too attended the Seroptimus Little Black Dress fundraiser. Very happy with what they do for our community and for the young women in our community. On Friday, October 17th, I attended the Youth Summit. Breakout session I had was addiction. Really not my wheelhouse, but okay. I did get to relay some cop stories to the kids. They were I kept them mellow. I kept them G-rated. On Saturday, October 18th, I attended the Relay for Life over at the Town Center. And again, very important cause. If you have the way and the means to support that, please do. On Sunday, October 19th, I too attended the Kiwanis Club of Simi Valley 60th anniversary and their installation of officers for this year. Happy to do that. And today I attended the swear-in for our new lateral police officer, Officer Casio. And that's the end of my report.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Judge. Didn't you also attend a chili cookout on Saturday?
I did, but that's not city business.
But he makes a mean chili. I was going to compliment him. Thank you. On Tuesday, October 7th, myself and the city manager and our police chief met with Mid-Valley Properties Director Maggie Kessley to discuss some concerns and see how we can do things better for our commercial properties around town. I also attended Cal Cities League of City Conference on the 8th through the 10th. 2 of my favorite sessions were, one was on youth in the community, And I was able to share how wonderful our youth council was. We got a lot of kickback for that. A lot of people came up and asked me questions. And then I also did one on how to communicate in a disaster for electeds. Basically, we were told to just be quiet. So that was the basis of that class, but it was worthwhile. On Sunday, October 12th, I had the honor of attending a Eagle Scout Court of Honor for Connor Hewless from Troop 622. And it was a very, very nice turnout. Everyone was enjoying the beautiful day out at Tierra Bajada. And come to find out, his grandfather, his father, and him are all Eagle Scouts. So his grandma came up and said, "My husband missed out and messed it up." But it was really pretty cute. They're really proud of them. Troop 622 is sponsored, I think, by Sunrise Rotary. And they do you see them volunteering at a lot of different events. So thank you to all of them. Yeah, let's see. On Thursday, October 16th, I also attended the Soroptimist Little Black Dress. It was the 10th anniversary. Thank you to Debbie Thomas, who was the founder of our Soroptimist Club. They did a first-time Woman of the Year honor in Debbie and Fred Thomas's name, and it went to Sandy Schmid, who started Second Story, our thrift store here in town. So congratulations to her. On Friday, October 17th, I also attended the Youth Summit in the morning and then came back for the lunch. I was assigned mental illness. Mental illness. I'm not sure if that was on purpose, Ryan, or not. But it was actually very, very good. I got to sit at a table with some 8th grade young ladies, most of them from Hillside and one from Valley View, along with Brooke Grayson, the newest director of the Park District. We had some really, really good conversation. It was really good. Brooke asked a couple of really good questions that drew the girls out. And then once they opened up, they shared everything. So it was pretty good. And Brooke and I both have daughters, so it kind of worked out well. But it was a great event. It's very, very much worthwhile. So thank you, Ryan, and the Youth Council for that. On Saturday, October 18th, I did stop by Coffee with a Cop, where Assistant Chief Lincoln Purcell had a good applicant in his grips, so I just waved at him and walked by. But it looked like a great turnout. I did go over to the Ventura County Credit Union next door, and Amy, the manager, goes, "Everyone thought we got robbed. They saw all the cop cars." She said their service center kept getting phone calls. So she goes, "We had to tell them, no, there's an event next door." So, but it worked out well. And then I did attend the Elks Lodge. I know it's not city business, but it was a great event, and the Elks support stuff in our community. On Sunday the 19th, I also attended the 60th anniversary of the Kiwanis Club. They did a great job, and thank them for all that they do. They're older than the Rotary clubs here in town, so they're the first large service organization here. And then I also attended the Forever Found dinner Sunday along with Councilmember Ayala. That was my first time attending that event, and found out the young lady that started it, Shannon, is here from Simi Valley. She's the founder, and she was the one that spoke and did everything. And then they also recognized Sandy Schmid, who was Second Story's founder here, who was also awarded the Fred and Debbie Thomas Award. So, and then to top it off, our own detective, Detective Kellen King, was one of the honorees also. So we had a great turnout, and it was wonderful to see good people recognized for good jobs that they're doing. So, and that's all of my items. So item 10B, are there any future agenda items? Okay, seen. Councilmember Lister?
I don't know if it's a future agenda item, but I know that we have been approached next year. July 4th is the 250th of our anniversary. And I know that there is a desire to make it a very special event. I think there needs to be some discussion about what we as a city should be doing additionally to contribute or be part of that somehow. So I know I've had private conversations with citizens, but maybe we need to just.
I think a couple of them have been reaching out to each of us individually.
I agreed so I don't know if this is something that we do a little committee, or I don't know. I just want to make sure that we are saying publicly, because certainly something about it.
And I've been approached by one of your colleagues as well about this. So I think what I'll do is put something on the agenda, because typically we have a certain level, certain threshold that we sponsor that the council has previously approved. But I would also like to reach out to the organization that is planning the 250th event in town and find out what it is that they're planning to do and what we can bring forward to council.
And I think some of it might be not just money, but our interaction and assistance as well. So, very good.
If that's the desire of the council.
If that's the desire of the council.
We can
I-
discuss, I'll second, because I know I told Kiwanis they need to reach out to all the other service organizations to try and get everybody, even though we usually do, communicate and support each other. I think it'd be good. Councilmember Ayala, did you have a comment?
I know we're a little short-staffed at the city clerk level, so it doesn't have to be immediate, but can we look at the feasibility of getting the public comment reports a little bit earlier than the 4 p.m. time slot?
So for clarification, would that be receiving them as they come in or receiving them earlier in the day? What would be the preference there?
Well, I would second his suggestion, but for me, I'd be happy if you just push forward the moment they come in so you don't have to think about it. But I don't know whatever the body prefers is, and whatever's easiest and best for.
Yeah, I'm
City
looking at
clerk's office.
whatever she thinks might be best.
Okay. Are you guys, everybody good with that? Okay.
We'll try it and see how it works.
Okay.
We can address it if it doesn't.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, we'll start forwarding them as they come in.
Thank you.
Anything else? All right, thank you. So tonight, we will be adjourning in memory of Chowchilla Police Officer Ray Barrantes, as well as Councilmember Rocky Road's father, William Rhodes. So thank you.